Right, now, fine. You should have remembered, Mr.
Arnab,
Sen.
can I come in?
No, once I just, what happened is sometimes Pakistan forgets history. You remember the Kargil conflict. You remember how we recaptured all the peaks. We forced you to withdraw in defeat. You were embarrassed. You asked Brigadier Javed Hussain, he would remember what happened in Kargil or 1971. Those memories should come back to you. What has happened is that the shift in government, we are going to hit back with you with twice the strength. You can call it hubris. You can call it hubris. We are very sorry. We are very sorry. We are going to hit you twice as back.
Well, I see it as hubris.
This is response. This is called the retaliation. General Bakshi is coming back to the debate. General Bakshi, please. General Bakshi to Mr. Hussain. General Bakshi.
Arnab, Madam, can I? Madam, with your kind permission.
And after that,
Madam, with your kind permission.
Okay.
Madam, with your kind permission, can I, I was very, 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 very happy to see that the lady injected a note of humanism into this entire discussion. And I would like to at least convey to her, the feelings of people. You must understand why the feelings in India are so inflamed. You very rightly, I think, raised the issue of civilian casualties on both the sides. Madam, are you aware that for the last 30 years, your country has been using non-state actors to target our civilians?
Where is the humanism there?
Punjab.
Where is the humanism in Hafiz Saeed?
You did it thereafter.
Where is the humanism in Dawood Ibrahim? Where is the humanism in Mullah Omar? Where is the humanism in Zawari?
Perpetrated all kinds of offences.
Where is the humanism in 2611, Ms. Hussain? Can you explain to me where was the humanism when you killed 170 people on our soil, Ms. Hussain? You can't have a camouflage strategy, Ms. Hussain.
No,
you cannot have a camouflage strategy.
You cannot be selective about humanity.
You can't do shadow boxing,
If Kashmiris are not human beings, are they not human beings? Why do you suppress them, oppress them in every way possible militarily? Militarily confront innocent Kashmiris. Why?
Ms. Hussain, I'll tell you.
For God's sake, the Bengalis that have now parted ways with you. And is it now time to remind you of the
That was a very long time ago, and the Bengalis were ably assisted by Indian troops. Ably assisted by Indian troops. We all have memory.
Let's get back to the present situation, you see. The fact of the matter is, as I just told Air Marshal, and I'm sure Brigadier Hussain agrees, you cannot sustain. Let's be very real. You may have a lot of bitterness in your heart. Maruf wants to come back. But the fact is, you cannot sustain an Indian retaliatory attack. You consider the comparison in strength of your forces. Then you decide your situation. You can decide whether you want to run your country according to the GI Joe called Bilawal Bhutto, or you want to assess your military strength and respond accordingly. Maruf wants to come back to the debate. A tinge of realism will do you good.
I don't think that it should be
I also wish to come back into the debate.
Okay, Air Marshal, I'll bring you back to the debate. After Maruf. Yes, come back.
Madam, please let others speak also.
Yes, Maruf.
Madam, yes. With respects, you have articulated very nicely the Pakistani viewpoint, but please also remember that when you lecture us on humanity and human rights, there is ample evidence of the level of genocide that your army committed in Bangladesh, how people are kept under the jackboot in what we call occupied Kashmir and you call Azad Kashmir. It is your constitution of 74 which doesn't even give the right to your Kashmiris to express the idea of independence outside of Pakistan's constitution, otherwise it's seen as treason. I also want to address the issue that the Air Marshal has brought out, in which he said that what is the root cause of it. You may continue to argue, sir, that the root cause of it all is the unresolved issue of Kashmir. But I would say, isn't the current root cause of the firing your desire to internationalize the issue from what Mr. Nawaz Sharif articulated at the UN to what has been coming as statements from various establishment figures, and you see this as an opportunity. What is our motivation to
Air Marshal responding from Islamabad. Maruf, let him get back. Let him respond to you. Limited time. Let the Air Marshal Akhtar come back to you, Maruf. A question put by Maruf Raza. Air Marshal Akhtar responding. We'll keep it quicker now. From Islamabad, let him respond, Maruf. 5 minutes to go. Let Air Marshal Akhtar respond, Maruf.
We liberated it of terror attacks.
Okay, Maruf.
And we got back into our territory.
He got the point. Let him respond.
What keeps your country together? It is Kashmir. If you say Islam keeps your country together, what about the Shias who get massacred by the dozen every day?
Maruf,
so what is your motivation other than raising
You missed
Kashmir
one more motivation, Maruf. No, Maruf, let Air Marshal Akhtar respond.
And flashing the nuclear card. You have no other motivation. Answer me, sir. What is your motivation in terms of going into the LOC and firing? And what will be our motivation? Do you think that India really has the capacity to capture Pakistan? I will say openly, we don't have the capacity to capture you. We can only give you a bloody nose. That's it.
Okay, so Air Marshal will respond. You forget one motivation, Maruf, before Air Marshal responds. This ceasefire violation, what is it? You ask any reasonable Pakistani. You know, if they'll tell you it was an attempt to distract public attention from the internal strife, and Nawaz Sharif thought he could do it. By the way, for everyone who talks about what's reasonable and humane, I don't know, Ms. Hussain may not be aware of the recent facts, but Sartaj Aziz admitted in New York that the whole attempt to talk to the Hurriyat was a total bloody disaster. And he said that it was a big mistake and he shouldn't have done that. He said this after realizing that in America nobody listened to him. I'm just putting a bit of realism. They don't need hubris to understand it. You need a sense of pragmatism to understand that you are talking on the whole world has moved on. Osama is found on your soil. You are an untrustworthy country, a failed state. Now deal with it. It's your problem. You deal with it. Now, Air Marshal Akhtar wanted to respond to Maruf. Go ahead, Air Marshal Akhtar.
Look, I don't want to respond to anyone. The only thing I wish to submit, ladies and gentlemen, is when we talk rationally, we don't raise our voices. We don't interrupt one another. Sayyida Abda Hussain wanted to say something. I wish to say something. And let's talk rationally and with logic. The voices must not go up.
Given you several points, sir, please argue factually.
Please understand. Okay.
Argue factually.
The central point is, please understand, allegations from your side or our side cannot be interpreted as absolute truths. Number one. Number two, both the armies are giving the robust responses from both the sides. Number three, both the allegations say that, look, we were attacked first and we responded. No. You killed our people first and then we responded.
No, I'll tell you.
So, okay, that's your side of the story.
No, I'll give you a couple of facts.
But please understand, please understand, nobody has used the nuclear word. Nobody.
Khwaja Asif used the nuclear word.
Your defense minister. Look, if you interrupt, I cannot complete my argument. I'll keep quiet.
No, one second.
Your motivation is to infiltrate jihadis in. Your motivation is to internationalize the Kashmir issue. Your motivation is to respond to dissent within your country by saying that Kashmir ka masla hum chhodenge. So what is our motivation? Give me an answer.
I'm not interrupting. Please understand, I'm not interrupting.
No, but Maruf is asking you, what is our motivation? Answer, give me one serious. What is our motivation?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what is your motivation now that you've interrupted me, which you should not have.
It's an open debate, sir. It's not an interruption, it's an interjection.
Okay. But please do it politely. When Prime Minister Modi, he drew another red line and he said that we cannot even talk to the Hurriyat leaders, to which probably Sartaj Aziz politely responded and he said, okay, if India was to raise its tail and come onto the border and say that, look, this is what is going to happen and we are going to cancel all the bilateral talks which had been going on for some time with start-stop.
Hey, you were told not to talk to them. You chose to. You choose to talk to people who never fought an election but not speak to the government of India. That's the most illogical, unreasonable thing you can do. Why would you do it?
Please understand.
Sir, this is
understand. Please understand.
There is no logic there.
No, I'll tell you why.
Are you implying, Ornab?
Please.
Is the Air Marshal implying? Implying that you fire on the LC, so we'll talk to you? Is that
exactly? That's what he's implying.
No.
That's what he's implying.
No, I'm not implying that. I'm not implying that. Please understand, when we say this is a human problem, Kashmiris are also human beings.
So, no,
They
how
are
does
not
firing
silent,
across the
passive
border solve any
spectators
human
between the two
problem?
countries.
1 second. You want to... So what about the Baluchis?
You stopped. You
What about
stopped.
the
Please stop.
atrocities in
Please
Pakistan,
please
occupied Kashmir?
Please.
Who are
Look,
you to
if-
tell us that the whole,
if you
in
keep
every
interrupting-
single human rights
look,
body
if you
in the
keep
world
interrupting,
has...
if you-
No, 1 second.
look,
Every single human
I
rights
think-
body
I
in the
think-
world
I
tells
think-
us
I think-
how
I think-
Shias are treated, how
I think-
Baluchis
I
are
think
treated, how
no-
Kashmiris are treated in Pakistan.
I think no sane discussion can take
Sir,
place the way you
sir,
are wanting to conduct
a
it.
simple
No sane
point made to
discussion.
you, sir. You understand. I asked you one question. What is our motivation? Your motivation is to internationalize this.
Okay, your motivation.
What is our motivation?
No, I'll tell you what is your motivation.
Yeah, tell us.
When Prime Minister Modi, when he redrew the red line, he was appealing to the local populace because of the forthcoming elections. 1, 2.
That's why Modi...
Because okay, please listen.
No,
to
that's
me.
why Modi invited Nawaz Sharif for talks.
Because
That's why he invited him for the swearing
Please
in.
listen to me. I'm responding. Number 2. All the election promises that he had made, the seat adjustment problems with RSS, and now he was responding that, look, when I
does not
said I
fight
will talk
elections.
tough.
What are you saying? The RSS does not have seat
Okay,
adjustment with the BJP.
Fair enough.
Sir, you are making a fiction now.
Next time I'm not going to come to your
Sir, I'm
program
giving you-
because
sir,
I've been invited here. If you don't listen
sir,
to me,
you are talking.
look, you're not listening to me
Air
at all.
Marshal, Marshal, the facts are not adding up. The
On
BJP
your
does not
side,
have a
you
share.
say.
BJP
Look,
does not have some seat sharing with the
On
RSS.
your
I'm just
side,
telling you
you
it doesn't
say
happen.
your allegations are absolute truth. On our side, you say our allegations are mere allegations.
Sir, I'm telling
now,
you.
that's not fair at all.
Sir, the facts, you see, you approached Ban Ki-moon through. You approached Ban
I'm
Ki-moon.
listening to you. Okay, keep talking.
Ban
Keep
Ki-moon.
talking.
I want to come in.
No, Brigadier Hussain, feel free to come in. I'm saying
Keep.
there is a
No, it's
pattern
very
of
unfair.
internal
No, you don't let
strife.
me talk.
Okay, GD Bakshi, I'm actually giving more time to our Pakistani interlocutors than our Indian interlocutors today. Colonel RSN Singh, after
you
Javed Hussain. Yes, Brigadier.
You are actually.
I want to come in.
Yes, Brigadier Hussain is coming back. Yes, please. Brigadier Hussain.
I think there cannot be any sane discussion take place right now.
Sir, facts
And next
are
time I'm not going to come to this program because it's one-sided.
Attribution as to why India should want to escalate at this time. But there are
It is very simple. What I've said, two
Pakistan
issues,
to escalate.
two crucial motivations.
You know, for Pakistan to escalate, you have been harping on the Kashmir issue. May I kindly remind you
Prime Minister
of
Modi
the UN
said he is going to talk
Council
tough.
resolution.
The military came in.
No, Air Marshal, kindly.
Okay.
May I kindly remind you of the UN Security Council resolution on terrorism, which says no cause in the world justifies the use of terrorism, which I'm very sorry to state, and you will admit, your state has been practicing as a tool of statecraft.
I think you are going in a different direction. I think you're going in a different direction.
30 years our people have
think you're going in a different direction.
Your state-sponsored terrorist attacks. Now, is that fair?
I think
long
you
do
are
you
wanting
expect
to
the
win
Indian
brownie
people
points
to be
right now.
patient?
No,
I'm not winning browning points.
Very
I am
unfortunate.
Air Marshal,
You know,
kindly,
Air
I'm
Marshal.
just telling you
I mean, it's
that
Air
when
Marshal.
we get into a dialogue
Air
like
Marshal.
this, I am just trying to make you aware of where it hurts in this country.
Mr.
Where
Marshal.
does the
I
shoe
want to
pinch
come in.
this country?
No, 1 second. Brigadier Hussain, Air Marshal Akhtar is getting
Very
angry because I'm
irrational,
upset.
very irrational.
I'll just tell you one thing.
No, I'm not getting
Air Marshal,
angry.
Air
I'm
Marshal
getting
Akhtar,
frustrated. I'm
Air Marshal
getting
Akhtar,
frustrated.
Air Marshal Akhtar, what happens is, I'll tell you one thing. Please let me say one thing. You see, one thing that we don't, so much hypocrisy is not good. So you talk about humanism. What does Abida Hussain says? Sayyida Abida, she talks about humanism. Can Sayyid Abida Hussain tell me what is the humanism with which you sent Ajmal Amir Kasaf to India to kill 165 people along with the other murderers? What humanism, Miss Abida Hussain, please, let me take on this hypocrisy directly today. What is the humanism which allows no justice in the 2611 case, not one movement? The case keeps getting postponed. Not one person held in the 2611 case till now. Or Miss Hussain, for example,
Continue, I'll not interrupt.
you give
I want to
patronage.
respond to
My
this.
question is to Miss Syed Abida Hussain, who was
Will you
preaching
allow
about
me
humanism.
to answer?
I want to know what
All right.
humanism, but just one question, what humanism
all right.
allows
Will
you
allow me
to protect?
make an answer?
So, what humanism allows you to protect a man called Hafiz Saeed? Simple. Answer the question.
Let me
what
tell
kind
you,
of humanism
let me
is
tell
that?
you, I'm going to answer very directly. Hafiz Saeed is a great social worker.
Oh my God! So Miss Hussain, I don't think,
yes,
Miss Hussain,
he has done.
Miss Hussain, I think you have exposed your position completely today.
I am from. Look,
I'm sure Osama bin Laden also was a social worker for you.
I am not militant.
This is the lowest point of this discussion, Miss Hussain. You spoke about humanism and now you call Hafiz Saeed a social worker.
Hear me. He is indeed. He has
and what is the Lashkar-e-Toiba
organization has?
And what is the Lashkar-e-Toiba by your definition?
I don't know.
And what is the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Ms. Hussain?
That they have brought tremendous relief to the flood affected in my district.
Ms. Hussain, I really think that you need to
coming to have a look.
You need to get a tinge
Why don't
of.
you come seeing
Ms. Hussain, get a little real,
Why don't you come and have a look?
Ms. Hussain, get a little real. You see,
I am very real.
Why don't you come and have a look?
To be a little real.
Why don't you come and have a look at Chhatrapati Shivaji Station and Leopold Cafe and talk to the people who were killed by that Kasaf? And then ask yourself, Ms. Hussain, that today I'm sorry to say this, you speak about hubris, Ms. Hussain, but your position, Ms. Hussain, your position, Ms. Hussain, but hear this, Ms. Hussain, let me say you something, say something to Ms. Hussain.
Shouting her
what
down.
would you have done?
Ms. Hussain, I'll tell you one thing. Your
Very
position, if you care to listen, because it'll be do you good to listen. I'll tell you one thing.
Goswami, don't do this.
Ajmal Amir Kasab was hung.
I don't know.
He deserved to be hung.
Good.
But I do think, Ms. Hussain,
on what would do me good.
Ms. Hussain,
I do think that India has a great many internal problems. You
Ms.
have
Hussain,
many militant organizations in
why
your
is there
country.
so much hypocrisy in your position? How can you call Hafiz Saeed a social worker?
You have regional movements because he has done social work in my district.
So what kind of social work was it that happened on
Pakistan?
No, so Ms. Hussain, I have a question for you. Can you answer a question?
Living under
then answer a question, Ms. Hussain. Answer a question, Ms. Hussain.
No, I will not
answer a question, Ms. Hussain.
I will not answer
you will not answer a question
till you hear me.
No, you will not. Ms. Hussain, you are not my school teacher to talk to me like that. So I'm asking you something.
Well, I'm sorry, you are not my
please tell me this, Ms. Hussain. What kind of social work happened during the 26/11 attack? What kind of social work happened during the 26/11 attack? What kind of social work happened during the 26/11 attack? What is your view on the 26/11 attack? Why were 165 Indians killed? What attacks? 26/11, 2008. You forgot that?
All Pakistanis regretted it.
Regretted it.
You should
Ms. Hussain, I don't want your regrets. I want your realization that your hypocrisy, the time for hypocrisy is over. And this is exactly the kind of position which forces an Indian response of a strongest stance on your country. Maruf Raza is responding now. Maruf is responding to the debate here now.
I think
I am shocked, appalled, and shocked and appalled and concerned at the hypocrisy which you show on the program today. Maruf Raza,
all of you men are similarly lacking in chivalry.
Madam, can I just remind you,
you are extremely
Madam, we've heard you.
After what you said that Hafiz Saeed is a social worker, I really think that you destroyed your own argument there by calling Hafiz Saeed a social. You destroyed your own argument, Ms. Hussain, by calling Hafiz Saeed a social worker.
Can I just remind the ambassador? Can I just remind the ambassador?
I find shocking and unacceptable at any level. Yes, please.
Arnab.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The ambassador must be reminded that she has served in the United States. So madam, please hear me out. Please hear me out, sir. Air Marshal, please hear me. The ambassador must be reminded, having served in the United States, she is probably aware of the level of academic rigor that professors put together studies which implicate Pakistan. Pick up copies of the book by Carlotta Gall, The Wrong Enemy. Pick up copy of Christine Fair's book on the Pakistan Army, or Stephen Tankell's book on the Lashkar-e-Toiba, and you will not be in such a state of denial, madam, as you are rightly now. You either have refused to read that, or you have been sufficiently
I would recommend to you
in Islamabad to be in a complete state of denial, which is a shame for a person of your standing.
I'm a retired person. there's no need for me to be in a state
I've
of
read
denial.
enough Pakistani
I'm not a
authors.
jobber.
Should I remind
I'm
you of
not
Ahmed
looking
Rashid?
out for
Should I remind
any
you of
perks
Murtaza
or
Razvi?
privileges.
Should I
Let
remind
me
you of
just tell
Imtiaz
you.
Gul?
Ms. Hussain.
Should I remind you of Aisha Siddiqa? Please read their books and you will realize that even Pakistanis who have an honest soul are willing to admit that Pakistan has completely used terrorists to further its proxy agenda. So I'm not talking of Western authors. You want me to name Pakistani authors? I've given you 4 names.
No, Ms. Hussain, I'll tell you. Ms. Hussain, you know, as some authors have described it, there is a choice that people have sometimes.
I don't think it can.
No, there is a choice. One can have a point of view in a world which is that of an antediluvian point of view, a prehistoric point of view, but this is not even that.
I would recommend to you,
Miss Hussain, for Miss Saida Abida Hussain,
heaping insults,
Miss Hussain, for you, if you have said,
I would recommend to you
Miss Hussain,
that
if you think,
read my forthcoming book, which will be published in November.
Miss Hussain,
you read my book,
Miss Hussain,
and you inform yourself on how
Miss Saida Abida Hussain, Miss Saida Abida Hussain, I'm sure for you and for some, you know, Pakistanis in a time warp, Lashkar-e-Toiba is like their missionaries of charity.
Very nice.
I can't
Very
believe
nice.
that. And I think it is thoroughly
Use these
shocking you
words
said
and
it.
your relations will improve.
Well,
I think you should reconsider these positions.
Disbelieve
And Miss Hussain, may I ask you actually that Pakistan should actually, Miss Hussain, diplomats like you and ex-diplomats like you should make efforts to bring Pakistan back into the realm of civilized societies, not take them away from it.
Pakistan is a civilized state.
By calling Hafiz Saeed as a social worker,
I think
you have destroyed your argument. You have destroyed your own position.
Basically, you have the point I wish to make, and then I will leave the program. I wish to make a point. Will you
Regrettable, Ms. Hussain, what you just said.
That I wish to make. All right. It's regrettable. What you said is regrettable. I found it extremely offensive that you said you come from a failed state. Now,
Well,
I
Ms.
want to
Hussain,
tell you something.
you may think
I
so, but
think that our Operation Zarb-e-Azab is what is causing you a lot of grief. You do not want us
you know,
to
when you came into the
against
program,
the militant
Miss Hussain, I want to say something to you. Miss Hussain, I want to say something to you.
Because you're in denial of
Miss
it,
Hussain, I'll tell you. When you
Pakistanis along our border.
Miss Hussain,
because you're in denial.
Miss Hussain, when you came into the program, you had a sophisticated demeanor, and when you at the end, towards the end of the program, Miss Hussain, from a sophisticated demeanor, you have descended to a point of calling Hafiz Saeed a social worker and God knows what other things. So I'm not going to get provoked by that.
Yes, I've not descended. I've stated what is a reality.
No, you've just taken the camouflage away, Miss Hussain.
You know, but on that
you were wearing a camouflage and you Maruf, Giri Bakshi is responding. 2 minutes on the debate. Giri Bakshi.
Flood affected in my district. Now, if you don't hear it,
Giri Bakshi, please. Giri
The
Bakshi.
problem with Pakistan.
It's
problem with guests in Pakistan.
It is unfortunate, but I get a very
that their brief comes from Islamabad and Rawalpindi. They do not have individual briefs.
Innocent Pakistanis along the border. You have tried to divert from the Operation Zarb-e-Azab, which has been a successful operation. This is
Madam, none of you have answered my question. What is India's motivation?
No
You have not answered my question. What is India's motivation to escalate tensions?
All right,
we know your motivation. What is India's motivation?
If you'll hear me,
Maruf, can I for a minute, please?
No. We've heard you, ma'am. We've heard you for the last 30 minutes. And you're going in circles but not getting to the point.
Of expressing, well, I'm making the point that the Operation Zarb-e-Azab against the militants is what you want to take international attention away from.
But you would not get international attention. It's not our
Can I just make one
Giri Bakshi.
statement?
No, one at a time. Giri Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, the lady brought into this discussion the august personage called Hafiz Saeed.
Yeah.
I would just like to remind the ambassador that there is a $10 million reward on the head of Hafiz Saeed.
Want to comment.
You know, imposed by the nation.
I'm coming to you, sir.
Who is your greatest ally, most allied of allies. There is a $10 million reward. Now, don't talk of us.
I was telling,
why would the Americans do it?
American diplomats
such a great
working in Pakistan, I was informing them
that he
about
charity workers. Madam, charity workers don't have bounties on their heads. Charity workers don't have bounties on their heads. That charity workers don't carry bounties on their heads.
We were shocked to hear you call him a social activist.
And Air Marshal Brigadier Javed Hussain wants to come in, and I have to close. But Brigadier Javed Hussain, what happened? Once, be real, please. You know, you can say anything. Tomorrow you'll say one sentence before your 2 points. I'm coming to both of you in Islam. One sentence before your 2 points, sir. Please understand. You're looking jittery. Things will get worse if we step up our retaliation. You've approached UNMOGIP, that irrelevant body called UNMOGIP. That's all right. Ban Ki-moon says solve it bilaterally. You went to the Americans. Americans says bilateral matter, go back. Your media is forced to conceal the extent of damage on your side because your army is shocked by the extent of India's retaliation. Now, it's not going to help. Sunil, it's really not going to help, Brigadier Hussain. And I think that you need to give up. And I get a sense that realism might strike on the Pakistani side right now. Whatever your intentions were. Yes, I'll come to you, Colonel, saying, but before that, Brigadier Hussain.
Stop firing on the LOC.
Just stop firing on the LOC and it'll stop. Just behave yourself after this. Yes, Brigadier Hussain.
Sentence now.
Yes, Brigadier Hussain.
Okay.
And please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt.
They have given up already, Arnab. They have given up.
I think so. I hope so.
Point number one. Hold on. Point number one. You say that Pakistan is guilty of ceasefire violations. We say that India is guilty of ceasefire violations. Who will decide? It should be the United Nations military observers.
Sir, nobody is listening to you.
But you are in a denial.
Absolutely.
They don't listen to you.
Point number two.
Sir, it's not our problem.
Hold on.
Don't try these games, sir. No.
Sir, who told you to shelter Osama bin Laden? Who told you to carry out the 26/11? Who listened to you?
Let me finish.
Hold it.
Sir,
Point number
two. The world doesn't listen to you, it's not our problem.
Hold on.
Very good.
The world equates India with Pakistan.
No,
why?
You have forgotten. You are insignificant. You are
caught up in the past.
I'm sorry.
Caught up in the past.
No, once.
We had any number of American analysts say that Pakistan is a separate, failed story. Pakistan doesn't matter to the world anymore. You are speaking to yourself, sir. You're not speaking to the international community. It's no more a hyphenated relationship. It's no more hyphenated.
You know how embarrassing
China is today.
Sir, you know.
100 years ahead of you.
Sir, Chinese...
That is the reason why...
Sir, the Chinese premier did even refuse to come to Islamabad. Nawaz Sharif called him.
People are bristling with inferiority complex.
I'll tell you.
May I remind you, Brigadier, that your economy, your GDP...
No, one second.
Arnab, I'd like to remind the Brigadier that his GDP is half the size of the Mumbai Stock Exchange. What is he saying that India and Pakistan are compared by the world on the same plane? Our economy is 20 times larger and your window is closing, sir. Your window is closing to seek an honourable settlement with us. If you don't get it in the year or two, nobody is going to listen to you. Even the Chinese and the Saudis are willing to abandon you.
Let's end the discussion on India needs to learn
out of small minds.
India needs to take a leaf from Vajpayee's book, where multilateralism, Pakistan was encouraged. It came to bilateralism. PM Modi took it away. Indian army is responding. You people are trying to decide this in a studio.
What you are seeing,
and trying to shout each other down.
What you are seeing is one minute. I just Air Marshal, you've been in the Air Force. You've been in the Air Force. No, 1 second. Air Marshal and Brigadier. You know what's happening. There is one word to define what's happening. Just imagine. There's no aggression. Imagine how strong Indian aggression could be. You haven't even seen Indian aggression. This is only Indian deterrence. This is only Indian deterrence you are seeing.
Okay,
This is
now
only
please
deterrence you're seeing, sir. Your worst nightmare is about Indian aggression. This is only Indian deterrence you are seeing today, sir. A kind of deterrence so strong, Air Marshal, that every single future generation of Pakistanis will remember.
You are not ready to listen.
The kind of response that you got this time.
You have a big army,
that one comment, but that one comment that Hafiz said.
Got a military to deter.
But anyway, that one comment that Hafiz Saeed is a social worker
how can we think
takes the cake. I thank you all for joining me on this debate. Gentlemen, on the Newshour tonight.
Thank you very much.